The next masking tool that we're going to look at is the gradient tool. So let's bring up our green layer again. And we're going to add a mask. So again, click on the masking icon. It wasn't looking like a flag anymore because I've used this layer before. I'm just trying to save time for myself. So again, if we want to see the underlying layer, we just turn all the mask to black, and there's no green effect on it now. Even though the green paint is there, it's being prevented from showing because the mask is entirely black, hiding it. So now we're going to click on the gradient tool, and you'll notice it goes red, white, and green. Again, that's going to help us signify some smart technology in this because the gradient tool does have some edge awareness capability. Once you've drawn your gradient or used the default one that comes up, if you put your cursor inside one of the boxes, you can drag it down a little bit or drag it up, however you want to do it to adjust it. And you can drag these from corners too. You can just do the top half, like if you want to add something like a graduated neutral density effect to a scene, like darken the sky but not the foreground. This is a great tool to do it. And we'll get into some practical examples of that later on, of course. So now I have this, but I want to click white. And that is going to introduce, instead of black to white, it's going to introduce white to black. But because our entire mask was black, it wasn't working unless we turn it to white. Okay, let me reset that. Now I have a white mask. I'm going to use my gradient tool. Again, it comes up. Now, instead of white, I want black. So if you have a black mask, you have to use a white clicked gradient. If you have a white mask, you need to use a black click gradient. So what has this done? Wherever this gradient of mask goes from, I'm going to turn Edge Aware off for a minute here. Wherever it's all black, it's hiding the effect or adjustment that we're making, in this case a color adjustment layer of green. Wherever it's white, it's letting that adjustment or effect all the way through, so it's totally our full green of our color overlay at 100% opacity. Where it's gray in between, there's a feathering of that effect. Okay, now here's some magic. It is a smart tool, so it can decide to become edge aware and try to not affect certain areas, and you just have to play with it and perhaps make some adjustments. We'll learn about adjustments later, but you can see that instead of applying green over this white area, it skipped it, right? Pretty smart thing. Same thing with the black, the red, the orange, and the blue here. I can adjust that, bring it down, and have it only affecting the lower part. I can move things around, tilt it. I can have it come from the bottom to the top instead of the top to the bottom. And again, I can play with the amount of edge awareness that I want and see how well or not well it works out. Make further adjustments. Use only a portion of the field. Invert it. So you got all those nice little choices available to you, and then of course adjustments that we're not getting into yet. And when we're finished with it, we can either click on the black brush to tweak things that we want to tweak. So I can come in here and adjust the mask however I want.